I'd like to welcome my fellow featherheads to In the Birdcage with KCB. I'm your host, KCB, where we take a movie, a toy, a topic, for instance, and we go ahead and what we do is we put that in the birdcage with me, and we go ahead and we get right down to the nitty-gritty and completely tear it apart. All this brought to you by Bird One Creations, the number one name in content creation of the entire interweb. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the show. All right, for all you guys back there in the back, I don't quite know if you've heard that or not, but here's one for y'all too.
I can do this all day.
Alright, now that I got all 8 of you here with me, I'd like to welcome you to the first episode of In the Birdcage with KCB. I'm your host, KCB, and today we're going to be ripping right into and tearing apart Captain Marvel just like Thanos did in Infinity War.
I can do this all day.
But before we get into the episode, as everybody knows, this was Stan Lee's final cameo before he passed on. And I've heard and read that some of his most favorite things to do, even more so than the comics themselves, was to actually be in the cameos. And this is his last one. And if you'll notice in the introduction, the Marvel introduction that they usually do, it's all of his cameos. Each one of his cameos are inside the letters as opposed to each movie or the character of the movie playing. So before we get started on this this tearing apart of Captain Marvel, so to speak, I want to go ahead and run that clip. And my way of saying thank you to the man himself. And Stan Lee, brother, rest in peace. Okay, our story begins on Hala, the Kree capital of civilization, I believe, where the Supreme Intelligence is at. And the story begins, well, with the nightmare, of course, or what we think is a nightmare, of Miss Veers awaking from that nightmare, running right straight to her mentor, picking a fight, and whooping his ass. Sound funny to you? I mean, how many people would be able to get by with something like that in real life? How many people would be able to get by with that in this life, in the MCU? Wake your boss up at 3 o'clock in the morning, pick a fight, and then whip his ass? And then not only that, you get in trouble for it, you go see the superior, and guess what? You mouth off to superior and they give you an award. They actually give you a mission. So this movie actually kind of stays on this platform. She doesn't seem to run into too much diversion that bothers her, that holds her back. And I noticed the progression of arrogance that she gets also throughout the film. It kind of grows and expands. It goes from something very small to, you know, actually towards the end, she is scolding Fury.
What? You think I'm gonna crank call you?
Like a teenager with a college credit card about using his pager. So, you know, it's just one of those kind of deals. But anyway, she goes to the Supreme Being. They talk. They give her the mission. They talk about the mission. They hit the road, Jack. You know, and she don't ever want to come back. She ain't ever coming back. She just don't know that yet. She goes on and they get on to this planet, and actually it's an ambush. Because what nobody knows or realizes that what her powers came from were the core itself, which is dun dun dun, the Tesseracts. And because that's where it came from, her, I guess, body signature is the same signature as that of the core. So when the Skrull were looking for the core, they picked her up, and the only reason was because of the signatures being the same. So this is a big ambush. It's a big setup. They shapeshift back to Krulls. They take care of the people that Veers is with, and then they kidnap her. And here's where it really gets a little funky. By the way, I wonder if Hala's got if they take applications like through the mail or online, because I don't know about you, but I've had a couple problems with my superiors in the past, which is the main reason why I'm staring in this camera right now instead of somewhere else. But if they can handle back talk there, I might actually have a full-time career. So in the comments down there, right after you smash that like button, that's next to the subscribe button, right in below those right there is the comments. If you would, in the comment section, let me know if they've got applications out. Or, I don't know, heavy spoilers if you're watching. Applications, new rock stars, anybody need a new personality? I mean, I may not be the best looking thing in the world, but you can believe me, I know how to run my mouth.
Yawning?
Now, they're poking around in her head. It's kind of a flashback series. What she thinks is something they're implanting in her head actually is her own memory. She just doesn't remember them all. And it's kind of funny, and this is one of those scenes, again, that kind of grasps with what I'm talking about. She whips an entire spaceship completely full of aliens. I would say single-handedly, but she had no hands, nor might I say, boots. She had no boots on either. So, you know, this girl's pretty dapper tough. And surprisingly enough, and as funny as this may sound, one spaceship full of aliens, a blockbuster, and a Jamie Lee Curtis poster later, she runs into the man, the myth, the legend, Agent Coulson. Oh, and by the way, Nick Fury. Alright, well, as she meets Agent Coulson and Fury, as this car chase ensues, Fury kind of loses Agent Coulson and Veers for a hot minute, and actually finds out that he was with the Skrull the entire time. Turns green, so they actually take this dude to for an alien autopsy, as he says, and find out that his boss has been infiltrated by the King Skrull. Well, I gotta give Fury credit, you know, considering in one day, he's seen UFOs, he's seen aliens, he's seen super people, he's seen alien autopsy, and he still just shrugs it off like it's a regular 9 to 5. I mean, that's pretty smooth. So Veers says as they meet up, he finds her in a bar in I guess it's in Mexico, somewhere out Area 51. Out there, he sees her, and you know, he tells her that he is 100% red-blooded American male that can't eat his toast cut diagonally. Go figure.
This is gonna get a little awkward.
You think I'm one of those green things.
So while they're in this bar, they prove to each other that they're not Skrulls, either one of them. And then they decide to do something that they don't seem like it's a very big deal, but in actuality, in real life, it would be a very large deal. They decide to infiltrate a top secret Area 51 base, break into top secret records now. Top secret America records. Down in the depths in records. And hijack a state-of-the-art aircraft. Just like that. Just like nothing. Just like it's another day. That to me is outlandishly insane. Breaking into the place for one is crazy enough, but actually pulling through and doing all of that, and then leisurely taking a flight.
You know how to fly this thing?
Yes.
After you hang a right at Memphis to Louisiana.
I can do this all day.
It just, like I said, this show has no ups and downs to me, it seems like, with the arrogance and the the full-throatedness of who I am with this character is just like up and straight. And in the bar, Fury refers to his job as just another 9 to 5. I'm going to call bullshit on that. I'm going to say Fury was like everybody else, scared out of his complete fucking mind, and was hiding it very, very well considering the position he was in, speaking to who he was speaking to. Because let me tell you something. If I just seen one of those three, a UFO, an alien, a super person, or especially an alien autopsy, I would be losing my shit. Just like everybody else would. That's why they won't tell us, because of people like me. America, ladies and gentlemen of the world, whoever may be watching this, I'm the reason why they keep aliens a secret, because I would completely and totally lose my shit. Well, they fly to Louisiana to get hooked back up with her best friend Maria Rambeau, who actually is the mother of Monica Rambeau. Remember that, because it's going to be coming up in the future. Haven't seen each other in 6 years. They thought she was dead, but they rekindled the old flame. You see why Monica is the way Monica is in WandaVision, how she is as a kid, Lieutenant Trouble. And here comes the Skrulls. Well, come to find out, the Skrulls aren't exactly what they seem to be. They've been searching for a place to live because the Kree have been basically doing genocide. Genocide. They're basically killing them off. They're trying to wipe them out of the universe altogether, and all they've been doing, with the help of Marvel, the lady that has the lab, trying to find them a place to live, a planet of their own. And when they talk about how they find the black box and they find out she was the pilot.
That's no big loss.
Now let me see. Get her back. Get her back now.
And they're all in there, and they're the Skrulls are just desperately trying to figure out what these coordinates are. In like 2 seconds flat, they find out they're not coordinates on Earth, but they're actually in space. And the science guy of the Skrulls, a spaceship flying in alien, could not figure out that they were state coordinates, not coordinates that were on Earth.
You're a science guy.
So I feel kind of good about myself because I actually knew that they were. So maybe I'm smarter than... Are you smarter than a Skrull? Well, the science guy pimps up the ride.
You're a science guy.
Yawning?
They all get in the ride and they fly.
Buckle up, folks.
Is this normal? Like space turbulence?
And they fly.
I can do this all day.
As soon as they get on the ship, they find the Tesseracts. Here comes the bad guys. So, now instead of Veers Carol Danvers, she whoops all the Kree. She whoops them all by herself. Everybody gets off planet. They go back to Earth, or C3, not Earth. And this Captain Marvel is so tough that Ronan brings 3 of his destroyers down, and she completely wipes one of them completely out. Out. I mean completely out.
That's impossible. Return to the jump point. We'll be back for the weapon. The woman.
Stands in front of him, daring him to hit. Come on, bring it on. Bring it on, Ronan. Bring it on. Where you at, Ronan? What's he do? What any other 100% red-blooded American male would do in a situation like that. Run like hell!
I can do this all day.
After all the fighting's ensued, they sit in the kitchen and they all decide that she is actually going to help them find a new world. And in the process of her finding a new world, she gives Fury the pager. Now, this woman scolds Fury with this pager like she's scolding a college kid with a credit card. Only in emergencies. So that's where I get the arrogance from. That she's very, very arrogant, thinking that I don't know how to explain that in the comment section. See if you can help me explain that, because I don't know how to explain how I feel about that. But that's just where I get that she's a little bit on the arrogant side. Now, granted, if I had those powers, I couldn't fit in this room. But, you know, for a comic book hero, she's got a touch more arrogant. You know, she's more Tony Stark as opposed to Vision, let's say. You know, if of course, you know, Vision was still around and he wasn't torn apart like a Christmas bird. I said it. Yeah, I said it. I said it. Ha ha ha. I said it. Ooh. All right, my fellow featherheads, this first episode has came to an end. Glad you all came, and really looking forward to doing another one. I hope you all enjoyed what you saw. If you did, reach out and slap the shit out of that like button. That'll help us out. Subscribe if you want to see more, because that helps out the channel for sure. And as you can tell, I'm still getting used to this talking, but I'll get her down. Anyway, thank you for spending your time with me today. God bless, and y'all have a good now here.